podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello,
Good.
hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We have an exciting guest speaker for today. So without further ado, what I'll do is I'll just turn it right over to her. She is our 2018 Certified WebCenter Trainer of the Year, and we're always blessed to hear from her. So I'm just going to turn it right over to her. Samara Killingbeck, it's all you.
Oh, thanks so much, Jason. Really excited to present to everyone tonight and to just share with you about our incredible division of MA Web Centers and our web solution products and services. Tonight, what I wanted to do, and it was just a little bit to change things up, is I'm not only going to be sharing some real life case studies and examples, but I wanted to put them into a little bit of context for you, and just to kind of roll it back as to the importance and value that our division provides, not just for our clients' prospective and existing, but also for unfranchised owners, and in particular us as web center owners. So I really hope that by the end of today, it all kind of makes sense as to why I've done it in this way. Anyone that has been to my trainings knows that I'm very big on speaking about our purpose, and everything that we do, it must start with why. And the golden circle is a concept that was actually created, or at least has become famous, by a guy called Simon Sinek. So I really hope that if there's a resource that anyone would like to listen to via audio and or read his book, then start with why, I definitely recommend it, because then I think it puts this division really into context as to how we serve our clients, as well as how this division serves us as web center owners. To be fair, the process and the how is already taken care of, and the outcome is just a direct result of the process that we follow. So for us, starting with our purpose, please remember that the division provides small to medium-sized businesses and non-for-profit organizations, whether they be charities or churches. It provides for our clients these 6 core things. But again, I always like to streamline it into 2. We are here to help our clients to make money and save money. Literally, those are the 2 things that we do, or at least those are the purposes that we serve. But the way in which we're able to do that is because by increasing the customer satisfaction and increasing their engagement through marketing of their organization, that's going to lend itself to the top one there of increasing revenues and increasing donations if it's a non-for-profit. 100%, when we're able to help these organizations to streamline their business practices or operational practices, that's when it lends itself to their expenses decreasing, right? And remember, money saved is money earned. So this is why if we can focus on those 2 things of increasing revenue and or donations and decreasing expenses, you're always going to have a very happy client. But if we look at the purpose of this division for us, then again, it falls into 2 kinds of dishes. One dish is cash flow now. I have a saying, which is cash is not king, but cash flow is. And this division is amazing with the amount of upfront retail profit that we can actually generate. But never forget, particularly for us in the UK, this is the most lucrative division in terms of cash flow, and lucrative when we look at the BV that can be generated upfront and ongoing, typically through an auto ship mechanism. And so we can really start to look at how we can increase our commissions, not just through the BV that's generated, but the success of our unfranchised business with expanding distribution. We tend to attract really high caliber quality individuals when we start to present the great divisions that we have. And I definitely have found that by presenting the Web Center division in particular, it really sets us apart from other types of businesses that are out there. So I always want us to focus our attention on making sure that it's a true win-win for both parties. One party is the client, the other party is us. And I'm sure that you will agree that we are able to achieve satisfying a true win-win for both sides. So that is how we look at the why, the purpose of why this division exists, and the mission that we fulfill. The process, which is the how that we're able to support our clients and ourselves, is very, very simple because it boils down to the L factor. I think Steve Harris has the best audio when it comes to understanding leverage and how our wider on franchise is able to capitalize on the L factor. But isn't it great to know that you may not necessarily have a background in web design or web development or digital marketing, and you may not be up until 3 o'clock in the morning or want to be up at 5:30 a.m., but it doesn't matter, because the huge success that we have is to serve our clients with the teams, technology, trends, and tools that we have available. And equally, we have those same aspects available to us as well. So if we look at it from our perspective, when we look at this process, it's the power of we, it's the power of the team that we have. And this is something that I have found that has helped me to not only attract clients to me, but also to keep clients with me. And this will lend itself to when I share with you some of the case studies, why these factors are so key and so important. Whenever we're actually out there in the wider world, online or in person, you want to have the confidence to know that you are supported by a formidable and incredible partnership. That partnership is Market America Worldwide, coupled with MA Web Centers, and you sit beautifully in the middle, kind of, I'd say, the heart. We've got the two arms and the torso, as it were. On our left, we've got Market America. On our right, we've got MA Web Centers, and we sit there at the heart of it all because we are the ones responsible for bringing our clients into this embrace. If you picture two arms hugging someone, then we are able to embrace our clients because of this wonderful grouping that we have. And it's through our relationships and rapport building that we are able to therefore then put these pieces of the puzzle together. Please get used to using the word we. If it wasn't for the word we, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed any success in this division, definitely would have struggled in my wider on franchise. You cannot do this alone, and it's wonderful that you don't have to. This division is probably the one that really and truly recognizes the power of relationships and the power of we, because we don't have something that's physical that we can necessarily touch, like OPC3 or like a lip gloss or a lipstick or our great skincare products. And so we really need to remember these things of saying, you know, we've been in business for over 18 years and we've got tens of thousands of clients worldwide with hundreds of employees, as well as the fact that we do business globally in 16 different countries. Let that roll off your tongue, be empowered by it and inspired as well, because you are not small fry. And even if you are a brand new web center owner and you say, yeah, but Sam, I haven't sold a web solution product before. Who cares? It doesn't matter, because it's not about you. It's about the we and the wider team. So that's why I really want you to take comfort, but also confidence in that, because you can't be in business for over 18 years doing business in multiple countries, or at least be in partnership with an outfit that has been in business for over 18 years in multiple countries, serving tens of thousands of clients, if you're not doing something correctly, if you're not doing something right. On top of that, remember that because we are servicing clients in multiple countries, we are able to support them in multiple languages as well. So it doesn't matter if your client is based here in the UK. It's great to know, because we've done this. One of my business partners, her first language or mother tongue is Spanish. And so she has been able to attract people who, again, their first language is Spanish into the business. And one of those business owners is actually a website client of hers as well. And so UK-based website in Spanish. It's great. To be fair, my client base is English. However, I know that one of my clients is actually moving to Spain and will want to actually have their front end website available in multiple languages to service the Spanish market. Brilliant. We don't have to worry about it because we have the infrastructure that can support that. I know that we have WebCenter owners in the UK who also are of a Chinese and Malaysian background. And so again, their client base can therefore then be serviced in English as well as in Mandarin and or Cantonese. And again, when we're looking at the website side of things, it can be in traditional Chinese and or simplified Chinese. It's brilliant to know that any client of ours, whether it's from a spoken word perspective in terms of the support that we can offer, and or when it comes to the front end or even the back end written support that we have and the content, it can be in multiple languages. I need you guys to remember this, as well as the power of unlimited. These are key things that have again attracted clients to me and kept them as clients and help clients to return to me as well. Because when they know that they are not by themselves, the power of support cannot be stressed enough. It's great that we've got unlimited pages that we can offer. Clients can make unlimited changes if they want by themselves, or they can call in, or they can have the team do it on their behalf. The fact that there are professional domains and email addresses and the unlimited web content storage and traffic that can be driven are all wonderful things. But something that runs consistently that I always hear is the fact that they just love the amount of support that they get. You can't put a price on support for a business owner, because we have to remember their expertise lies within the business that they have actually created. It lies within the organization or the charity that they have founded. Typically, it doesn't lie within the skill set of learning or knowing how to market themselves online and or how to even put themselves online, nor should it be. It's better to not be a jack of all trades and a master of none. We want them to be masters as jewelers, as accountants, as plumbers, in whatever field of endeavor they have chosen to go into business and or set up that organization for. And it's great that they know that they can rely on us to take care of everything else. For us as WebCenter owners, our process is incredibly simple. 5 steps. Don't make this more complicated than it needs to be, team. 5 steps. We just have to identify some leads through our candidates. Number 2 is just to do some research on the names that we have on our names list, and that's the current. We're going to just do literally no more than 2 minutes. No analysis paralysis, okay? You just want to double check. Do they have an online presence? If they do, where do you find them? And do all of this research via your mobile phone or your cell phone so that we can see if they do have a website. Is it responsive? Do they have a Facebook page? Do they have an Instagram? Is everything on there dated from 2015, or was it from 2 days ago? We just want to double check and just see where they fare within this digital marketing age or within the digital age, and therefore how best we are with our teams of professionals to serve them. But it also gives you some little tidbits of conversation starters, because it's that third one, which is the contact, which is key. This is where you're really going to either establish the relationship and or build upon it. And it's all about rapport building skills. People do business with those they know, like, and trust. And it's funny because we forget that the first part of that saying, because everybody knows that saying, but we forget they have to know you. The only way for them to know you is for you to get into contact with them, reach out to them, communicate with them. But remember, it must be in the style or in the method that they best wish to receive. What do I mean by that? If you know that you're dealing with a client who potentially your mother tongue may not be the same as theirs, then it's best to actually see if you can see them face to face. Understand that we're in social distancing, but things are relaxing in the UK. So we can actually, through respecting social distancing measures, still see people face to face and or via Zoom. Zoom has been an absolute godsend for most people. And I definitely encourage us, regardless of whether it's a language barrier or not, to do as much as we can in a face-to-face capacity, because nothing beats that human interaction. You know, we are human beings and we feel and we need that transfer of energy. And so typically what I have found in past experience, for some reason, Italian seems to be the clients that I tend to attract. Then being in a face-to-face environment of some description seems to suit them best. But it could be that if you know your client would prefer an email or a text or a WhatsApp, then please respect their preferred method of communication and opt for that. Also, remember, when you're contacting clients, or candidates, sorry, it may not just be about the form or the mode of communication, also the time. Some people are early birds. They like to be contacted at 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. I've got clients who are night owls, and so it would be blasphemy for me to contact them before 11 o'clock in the morning, literally. So I know that if I say to them, do you want to speak at 10 o'clock at night? That's perfect for them. There are other people who are lunchtime or early evening. So you've got to, again, just be a human being and look at what works for you, but more importantly, or equally importantly, what works for them as well. That contact phase is so key, because this is where you can really bring everything together to therefore then do the 15-minute consultation. And even though you guys know I can talk a lot, that 15-minute consultation, I promise you, can be done in 15 minutes. You're just going to follow verbatim the sheets that we have. Remember, we do have 3 sheets. Typically, I do not do the business spending assessment in the same session. I tend to use that as a follow-up tool. That's worked very nicely for me personally to get shop tracker customers, as well as it's just a nice tool as well when you're wanting to speak about helping that organization to decrease expenses, which can be a separate conversation, and I encourage you to have it as such. Then when we're talking about their digital marketing strategy, typically dependent on what I have found out through the contact phase of really building that relationship, it may determine, or it does determine, if I do the digital marketing and social media consultation first, or if I do the website and management or website admin and management consult and then do the social media one. The truth is that it doesn't matter which one you do first, because it's all dependent on what you have been able to find out through that contact phase. Remember, phases 1 through 4, that's where we come into play. That's our role as professional appointment setters and professional data miners. That's us. That's our remit. We then have to make sure that we can just hand over all of that heavy lifting to our specialists. And that's the 5th stage of our C's. That's the close. Okay. So the product specialist is the one that is going to close the deal for you. If you are a person that hates sales, then this is probably the best division for you, because you don't have to worry about asking for the sale, because our product specialists are phenomenal and they will do it for us. Whilst their closing ratio tends to be 1 in 3 qualified appointments, I would say that that closing ratio is a lot stronger since the lockdown period. It's 1 in 1, 1 in 2, but it really does depend on us making sure that we do follow the candidates through to consult and respect the fact that it takes as long as it takes. This isn't something that can necessarily be done in a day. This isn't something that can necessarily be done in a month. There are clients where it took me a year to close, but it's because you guys know I'm very big on saying relationship first, retail profit second. So our process is very, very clear. And literally the outcome is just the result of us bringing our mission and purpose together, marrying it with our process to get the result for our client. The product offering or result for our clients is that they're going to get an affordable and professional service, which is an all-inclusive online solution for all of their digital marketing needs. It is very easy for them to maintain. It is safe and secure, and they will be supported, not just by the technology and infrastructure, but also by the teams and human element as well. For us, the outcome is incredible. When we look at the retail profit that we can accumulate because of the sale that we didn't actually have to make, it's insane. For those of you based out in Canada or the US, $1,000 is not to be sniffed at. That's some serious, I was going to say wonga, but I don't know if that translates for anyone from the US on the call. But that's some really great upfront cash. And remember, you're not just going to look for the one sale either, which is why I say cash flow is king. For us in the UK, we're looking at between 500 and 700 pounds. Think about what you can do in the next 3 months if you really set your goals up so that you can look at how you can reduce some debt, put some money aside for a project or a venture, pay some bills, whatever it may be. That's some serious retail profit. And then we've got the great BV that's across the markets. It's mirrored, 200 BV upfront website sales. And then for the duration and tenure that that client remains active is either 530 or 35 BV per month. Auto ship. You don't have to think about it. Your client doesn't have to think about it. It's flowing into your banks and it is serving you and your organization to hit the commission checks to help with you get into your residual income goals and dreams. Wonderful as well that you may not necessarily have a client that needs a website from us, but we can service them through our digital marketing products, which not only carry with them for the most part, again, auto ship BV, granted content writing, 5 BV one off, and the same with SEO, 75 or 100 BV one off. But again, those are some great BV amounts. But isn't it great that if we take, for example, Facebook ads, premium Facebook ads, I think it's amazing. I was speaking with a prospect yesterday. This was a UFO prospect. And instantly, when I said to him, £6 retail profit per month, this is an auto ship product, he finished the sentence for me, which was, that is residual. £6 per client. He said it. I didn't even need to say it. I love when that's the situation, that someone clocks how impressive it is that even though we think £6, is that all? You're not the one that's selling it. You're not the one that's maintaining it. You're not the one that's writing the ad. You're not the one that's having to actually publish it or even get involved. That is when you've got a true business and you are leveraging. So I get very excited, as you guys know, about this division because it demonstrates the power of leverage and it demonstrates the power of relationships amazingly. Think about this. If you've got 10 clients, all on premium Facebook ads, so that's £6 retail profit, that is 60 quid, £60 straight off. That is more than £600 for the year for something that you haven't sold, you haven't made, you haven't applied, you haven't maintained. Starts to change your thinking, doesn't it? So I've put that into context for you so that I can then bring your attention to a few clients that I thought would really illustrate the beauty of our wonderful division. Now, this is one of my own personal clients, and Floyd, his name is Floyd Johnson. He originally came to me as a referral. So again, the power of relationships outside of the unfranchise is just as important as our relationships within it, because when people know what you do, they like what you are about and what you do, and they trust you. They are therefore then going to feel comfortable and confident with referring business to you. No brainer, right? So Floyd was a referral back in 2017, July to be precise. And he was going it alone. So he used to work, he was employed within the renal and kidney area of health. And he then decided that he wanted to set up a medical recruitment agency from scratch by himself. And it was great that he was a referral to me, and I found out quite a lot about him during the contact phase, because he had no online presence at all. So my research was very, very straightforward. We did everything by telephone. But it's interesting the rapport that we can build by telephone if we just want to actually listen to the person. We want to understand what they're going through and what they want to achieve. Can you believe that he was quoted £6,000 for a brochure style website with only 5 pages? Now, I almost fell off my chair when he told me this. And I actually turned around and said, with all due respect, Floyd, whoever has said that to you is trying to rip you off, because there is no way that anyone can justify for a 5-page brochure style website charging you £6,000. Of which he agreed. And we just had, you know, great rapport, great banter and great conversations, found out about his son, his family, and we just connected really beautifully. And so I therefore then was perfectly poised to say, well, look, what I want to do is to really set up an appointment where we can just focus on me asking some really poignant questions to better understand how I can help and serve you with the help of my team. When's the best time that we could actually do that? Earliest time next week. It was actually a Friday that I spoke to him. So the earliest time next week. Mornings, evenings, afternoons, what's better for you? He said evenings because he puts his son to bed. I said, no problem. I said Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I was closing him in. He had no choice, really and truly, but to give me an answer that would work for me. Evening, it's either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hasn't really got much else, you know, where else to go. We completed all 3 consultations for him purely because he was someone that I knew, but I actually did the business spending assessment separately to the website management and also the DMP assessments. I did those 2 in one go, and then later on I did the business spending assessment for him. It was very interesting because set the appointment up with the product specialist and it closed on the spot. Now, is that very typical? No, it's not. We know that it tends to be 5 to 12 follow-up appointments that we can therefore then close the sale. But I knew the amount that he had as a budget. I knew where he was in the buying cycle, and the relationship had, you know, been established very quickly but very solidly, all by phone, that I was confident that it would close on the spot. And our product specialists are phenomenal at what they do, with equally building rapport on their side. So Floyd then had a classic design website package with us, regional SEO package, premium Facebook ads, and social media management. He wanted everything from scratch with us. This was the website that we designed. I think it's very apparent that it's a medical website, or I hope it is. And what I think is amazing about his testimonial that he shared just under a year later with me, and he put it in writing, is as follows. As a startup business, we needed a website of which would stand out amongst our competitors whilst attracting an audience across a niche area of the healthcare market. Samira and the team worked extremely hard in the design and concept of the website and managed to deliver just what we needed. After a day of the site going live, we also won a new client. Thank you, Samira and team. Nothing really and truly to do with me, everything to do with the team. I literally love to play middle person. And he provided this testimonial on the 31st of May 2018. So needless to say, he is a very happy client. Now, the thing is that he actually sold that business off in 2019. And so that is why he ceased to be a client at the back end of last year. However, what is very interesting about this is that he had a budget of $3,000. What I did was I said to him, okay, I don't want to rip you off. I want this to be a long-term relationship, because remember my philosophy, relationship first, retail profit second. And so when I assessed and asked the key questions of how much have you set aside to invest into your digital marketing strategy, you guys know that's my tagline, and he said £3,000. I said, no problem, don't worry. With your budget, it is very healthy, and so we will be able to serve your needs. I am super duper confident of that. He said, Samira, you said you're super duper confident. I said, yes, Floyd. He said, I believe you, I trust you. So we were able to give him his website. He had premium Facebook ads with us, regional SEO package and social media, which came to just, it was just a little bit over 2,100 British pounds. As you saw from his own written words there, no doubt we increased his revenue, of which I knew we did. But also we were able to decrease his expenses between 2017 and 2019 because he became a shop tracker customer of mine, and he does pretty much everything online. But on top of that was the fact that we saved him a lot of money, as you can see, straight away with his budget and what he invested. But equally, it was just over the course of time where he was streamlining his business practices. He had everything on his website, the way in which the forms were done. I have to say the team did a cracking job with this website. It was really, really funky how he was able to add the forms and the layout of the forms on his website. He had everything that he needed in this one place. Therefore, he was able to attract a high caliber of nurses who work within dialysis and renal treatment. Because the process was simple, he appeared very professional. And so that was why he was able to win business. Very happy client, but sold that business off. So that was the outcome for him. The outcome for me as a WebCenter owner, remember the average retail profit is between £500 and £700. Well, I figured I wanted to give you guys some tangibles. And I'll also explain on the next example why I took a lower initial profit. But with Floyd, it was £940 retail profit was my initial, as well as 420 BV upfront. Was I a happy camper? Absolutely. Now, remember I said that he ceased to be a client of ours, stopped being a client in 2019. Well, he's launched a new business. But because the relationship was not only established, but maintained and deepened further over the course of him being a client of mine. And, you know, he knows my mom. As you guys know, I like to introduce my mom to everyone, and my mom introduces me to everyone. And so it's really great to develop these types of relationships with your client. He actually referred a new client to me. So back in April, when I shared with you guys that I bagged a new website client and I posted about it, that was purely because of Floyd's recommendation to Warren. So I now have a new website client, again, UK based. It's an MPO, purely because of the referral that Floyd gave to me. Floyd has now launched a new venture, and as such has recently become again a client of mine. So we've now we're in the process of launching his new website. It's going to be a professional design package instead. He needs 10 pages with this website, but he also purchased local SEO and social media management. So just from him alone, my initial profit, 489 British pounds with 325 BV. You may sit there and say, well, why did I reduce the retail profit that I wanted to earn from this client? Well, when you've got a client that gives you a referral and you're able to make between 500 and 700 pounds, and also knowing the importance of the relationship, there was no need for me to looking at his budget, knowing that he's going to move, and also during this COVID period that his recruitment agency that he is now launching in this sphere of life, as it were, has actually taken a hit. Because as you guys know, within the medical world, they are crying out for people to join. And so recruitment agencies aren't actually needed as much because hospitals and private practices are able to go to people directly. And so it's actually an interesting situation within the healthcare sector. I was happy to take a lower retail profit because for me, it's all about reciprocity and the relationship. I am still a very happy camper, by the way. Another case study for you is the Lord's Store Bank. Now, this is a non-for-profit client. They have been a client since March of 2017 and have remained a client to the present day. So today I actually got their BV through their monthly occurring PV, which is quite nice in time for presenting this case study to you. Now, how this candidate came to my attention was because they were a stranger on the tube. So never, ever underestimate, even in this period of people wearing masks, we can still communicate with people and speak to people through our masks. I see my mum doing it all the time, and it's really, really, I was going to say hilarious, but it's actually impressive. And I'm just in awe of how she does it. But never be afraid, guys, to actually speak to people. People still want to communicate. Yes, we've all got our masks on, but people still want to communicate. So anyway, through striking up a conversation with this candidate on the tube, came to find out that they were actually starting a very small non-for-profit organization. It's a charity in the Essex area. And so they had no online presence at all. All of the contact thereafter was by telephone, as well as the consultation was done via telephone. Again, it closed. Actually, this one didn't close on the spot. It closed a month later, and they opted for the custom design layout as well as social media management. Now, the reason for that is because their funds were incredibly low, very, very low. Now, the numbers that I'm going to share with you will shock you because they were so low. But when I tell you what I've been able to achieve and what they have been able to achieve, you will recognize why I took them on as a client and why to this day, I love them as a client. So this is part of the website that we designed, very, very, very basic. And actually, they are very happy with this basic design. I personally wouldn't have chosen it, but they loved it. That's why I wanted to choose this as an example for you, because it's not about what we want, it's about what the client wants. But listen to this. They have been a client of mine since March of 2017, and I made an agreement with them, which is okay. I recognize that you have a very, very, very low budget. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do some fundraisers, and I will be responsible with the help of my team for all of your fundraising activities. And I will also help in any ways in which I can with looking at contacts and connections to help with getting the Lord's Store Bank not only off the ground, but getting the partnerships that it requires. That gave me personally control and therefore then being able to introduce our Market America, Market UK brands at each of our fundraisers. Purely, that's all we use, our MA brands, as well as our partner stores for where we'll get little treats and things for raffle prizes and of the like. So I'm therefore then having the monopoly on BV and IBV that runs through this. Because they're such a small charity, they cannot be registered right now with the Charity Commission. So that is why they are not an MPO client from a shop.com perspective. But once they continue to grow, which they are doing, that is in our plans to get them on as an MPO, as a full MPO client as well. But I want to share with you, tiny 2-woman band charity. These are the two ladies here, Kate and Linda. They are the founders, co-founders of the Lord's Door Bank. What we've been able to do or achieve is incredible. Let me put it here. Actually, this picture was last year at one of our fundraisers. We did a pamper event for them, and we raised just under £1,000, just under £1,000 for their charity, by the way. You can see here, some people will recognize some familiar faces. So we've got some UFOs that supported this particular event. And we're not all economically connected. The beauty of our unfranchised, right, is that we're connected through kindred spirit, not necessarily through the back office. So very, very blessed and grateful to the likes of Rosaline or Roz, Bianca, Juanita, Stella there as well, and Danielle, who you guys can make out as UFOs, fellow UFOs, just supporting this event, as well as prospects of mine who attended. My sister and my stepmom are in the background, as well as my mum, Mummy Carmen, she's there. And this picture, it doesn't show the true story, because this was just a picture of a couple of the ladies that were made up by the 4 makeup artists that you see there at the front. Bianca and Juanita are UFOs, whereas my cousin Naomi on the far right hand side, she is a motives prospect of mine as we speak, as well as T in the middle there with the blonde hair. She is a prospect of mine as well, from a motives perspective. But we actually had well in excess of 35 people at this event. But what you can see are just a handful of people that had been made up that were comfortable with being in this particular photo. From this event that took place in 2019, I actually was able to secure a Facebook ad client because we spoke a little bit about the fact that I'm the person that they came to for their website, and I help with all of their fundraising. So I was able to secure a Facebook ad client, as well as you can see there, I've been able to secure a lot of product clients from a BV or MA brand perspective. So not just motives, but also TLS, Isotonics, Cellular Labs, Lumia DV, as well as UFO prospects. Now, back in 2017, at the end of 2017, the Lord's Store Bank referred a website client to me, which is their church. So I also have as a client, as an MPO client, their church, which is All Nations Evangelical Church, which is based out in Camberwell, Southeast London, for those of you familiar with the area. So this is also a client of mine purely because of my relationship with the Lord's Store Bank. So what has the outcome or the results been for my client, the Lord's Store Bank? You can see there they had a fairly meager budget of 650 quid. So their initial investment was £646. We have been able to increase their revenues and donations. I haven't even totaled it all up. But for those of you in the UK, you will know that Pampers is a huge organization when it comes to baby care, diapers. In the States, you call them diapers. Over here, we call them nappies, and all things to do with babies. What I didn't tell you about their charity is that it actually is an organization that is to support young families with Pampers, you know, nappies, diapers, food, clothing, because obviously times are incredibly difficult for a lot of families. And so this is why they set up this organization. Kate, for example, she's an accountant. Linda is actually, she works within biomedicine, but I've just forgotten her profession at King's College Hospital. And so they started from scratch, and it's an absolute blessing to know them. And they are just incredible women who deliver food parcels and all the hampers to families within the Essex area in need. And it's through the partnerships that we have secured. I've introduced them to different people, as well as they have been networking. They've got great relationships with their council in Purfleet, as well as secured this huge contract where Pampers itself are actually donating products to this tiny, tiny charity that is doing incredible work within the Essex community. Absolutely feel blessed and honoured to be a part of their journey. And it's been a wonderful journey, definitely for them, the families that they've been able to support and continue to support, as well as I've been able to be enriched spiritually as well as financially from this venture. So I want you guys to not just necessarily dismiss a client perspective because of the retail profit that can be earned. Because even though I was able initially to generate just under £300 retail profit and 300 BV, which may not sound as impressive as the first client, what I want you to understand is as follows. They have referred business to me. I not only have a website client because of them who had to pay a lot more, but also because of the fundraising events that we've been doing since 2017, but the one that we did last year, I was able to not only hit the Motives Challenge, so I became a Motives Cosmetics Challenge winner for MAIC 19 last year, as well as placing second for the Motives contest. It was because of this event. I had no time to be making up faces, etc. So I leveraged this event and leveraged the makeup artists, as well as sold some product myself, and then had follow-ups with the ladies that were at this event and the ladies who couldn't attend this event. That is how I was able to hit the Motives Challenge, as well as place second for the Motives contest last year. I've used this client as a case study for a reason. They have helped all other areas of my unfranchised business, not just my WebCenter business. To date, including today, as of today, and the BV that I get from them, I have earned or generated, because of my relationship or partnership with the Lord Store Bank, in excess of 5,000 BV from this one client because of my relationship with them. That may not sound impressive to some, but if you really understand the power of relationships and the power of residual, that for me is huge. And remember, this came from a client with meager beginnings. So the very last client that I wanted to actually share with you isn't one that's my own, because I wanted to spotlight a fellow UFO and WebCenter owner who I wanted to give a shout out to, and that is Mr. Lee McMeekan. Now, myself and Lee, we've been working on getting his WebCenter business going, and he has done a phenomenal job with this particular website. Phenomenal. I only had to get involved 1 or 2%. He has to take the credit. What he has done is a great website for a fellow Market UK UFO, Becca Mosley. Most of you are familiar with Becca. She's one of our Motives trainers. As you know, as a beauty professional outside of Market America or Market UK, she owns a salon. Of course, at the moment it's closed. But as of the 4th of July, I believe she will be able to resume back to work. So we have a classic design website that he has put together for her, and it's a fellow UFO. This, I think, is a beautiful website for HIFU clinics based out in the north of England, northeast of England, just outside, northwest, I get confused, northwest of England, based in Burford, which is just outside of the kind of Manchester area for anyone who's trying to place where it is. And they've got phenomenal testimonials on there, and they've got the privacy policy, very important for us with GDPR regulations and laws here in the UK. They've got a great contact us page. You get to see all of the treatments, great visuals, great colors used, and just a really inviting website that I know they've been able to use to great effect during the COVID period, where they've actually had to shut up shop completely. If there's one set of people that I really feel for, it's beauty professionals during this lockdown period. But they've been able to really and truly use their website as great marketing for them to still keep people engaged and attracted to them, so that when they can in July open up, they can therefore then be best placed to do so and to take their bookings on and to show that they are a professional outfit based out in the north of England. So I hope that today you've been able to get a couple of ideas as to the power of this division, what it can do for your clients across multiple different industries, whether it's a for-profit or a non-for-profit, give you some ideas of who you can target. You don't necessarily have to stick to the English-speaking market. You don't even have to stick to the UK market, knowing that we can service clients in 16 different territories. Always remember, it's relationship first, retail profit second. And whilst I would always recommend that we look for $1,000 or 500 to 700 British pounds as our retail profit gauge and marker, if you've got or been able to build a really beautiful relationship with a client, and it's something that it's a vision that you believe in and genuinely support, then I'm going to go out on a limb and say the money will come. Trust me on this. The money will come and you will be blessed, and or you will be able to receive, depending on your religious views, of course, great karma. And so I don't want you to get fixated necessarily on the retail profit, because I know that the BV and other retail profit will follow, no doubt. So I hope that today just gives you some examples of UK focused examples of clients that we've worked with. I have different testimonials and case studies to share, but I wanted to give a shout out to Lee McMeekin and thought that I would showcase one of his designs, as well as just to give you guys a flavor of two very different types of outcomes, but why it's important at our heart to remember our purpose, our mission, and that it's relationships first, retail profit second. So if you guys have any questions, I'm just going to open up the chat box. Oh, thank you guys. I see your wonderful comments. I feel very blessed and honored. Thank you so much, Carmen. Thank you, Chuen. It's so wonderful when we have amazing WebCenter trainers, friends and mentors of mine. That's something else that I should actually say, is that we all support and lift each other up across the board. And I think that it's an amazing testimony that, you know, different time zones, but we are all together on this. And I learn from you guys and our fellow peers within this division. So thank you as well for your kind and beautiful comment shared. I think everyone can hear me.
Yes.
I'm guessing you guys can hear me.
And as you close out, Samara, I just want to jump in here and say that was phenomenal. I love how you talked about the depth and breadth of not only MA Web Centers, but also how it is incorporating the other divisions, and that it really goes beyond that and ultimately comes down to building value in relationships. So thank you so much for just giving us your honest, genuine look in how you've been able to kind of bring business to a whole new level just by really focusing on those core values and really starting with why. And I think you did a phenomenal job. So just thank you so much for your time today.
No, thank you, Jason. As always, you are a phenomenal leader, and we are so honored and privileged to have you take over from the great work that Sarah Rose did. So thank you as always, Jason.
You're welcome. And if anyone has any questions, certainly email us at any time. Stay involved in the Facebook support groups. Stay tuned for some exciting announcements coming your way. But I thought this is also unique. I heard today that today is actually the World Olympic Day. So June 23rd, 2020, the World Health Organization defined today as Olympic Day. So make sure that you get some of your exercise in even before you go to bed this evening. But it's just fitting that we're kind of finishing out our 2020 WebCenter Olympic contest. We got one more week that'll just be a conclusion week, but it's just been a phenomenal couple months with all of you, and looking forward to more success stories and want to hear more of these case studies from all of you. So thank you very much.
I'm just looking to see, because it says there's a question. Shusna, I can't see your question. Your hand is raised, but I can't see. It says Shusna question.